I want to stick with the gay marriage debate for the moment, guys. Another part of this poll, this New York Times CBS poll, asked the simple question: should same-sex marriage be legal? A pretty close split there. Yes, 42%, no, 51%. Ed, do you think that really points to the idea that this is a sort of is just going to even out in terms of votes for the presidential election and isn't actually going to be a difference maker come November?
It may not be, but, you know, it's interesting. 30 states have in some form defined marriage between a man and a woman. And so 30 states. And so when you're talking about a presidential election, and since we're not talking about popular vote countrywide, we're talking about individual states. So when you look at individual battle states like North Carolina, Virginia, Indiana, and even Florida, I think that it hurts the Obama campaign on the whole. I mean, the timing of this announcement coming the day after North Carolina voted to essentially ban same-sex marriage in its state shows me that, you know, maybe the Democrats ought to move their convention.
Leslie, what say you about whether this makes a difference come November?
Well, Ed, with the utmost love, I'm sure that you and all your buddies on Sunday in church think this matters to the American people, but it doesn't. I mean, let's be honest. Republicans are going to vote for Mitt Romney. Majority of Republicans believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, which happens to be a moral and biblical idea. And we do still practice the concept of separation of church and state in this country, one of the things I think is great in this country. Then you have on the left, my side, Democrats. More than 2/3 of Democrats believe that, hey, I don't care, you know, who marries who, not my business. Less than 1/3 do believe it should be defined between a man and a woman. Those aren't the votes that Mitt Romney and Barack Obama are looking at, as you know, and that's not the issue the American people care about, as you know. Numbers 1 through 10 are the economy on both sides, but what we're concentrating on and what the candidates are focusing on is approximately 15% of that electorate that define themselves as independents or centrists, the swing voters, and those, they're split down the middle. But when they are polled and asked what matters to them, gay marriage is not top of the hit parade. It's the economy. It's the jobs. And by the way, our security, Homeland Security, foreign affairs, all of those trump gay marriage, which seem to be more of the Christian conservative top 10, which are not America's top 10.
Ed, is that a fair point that President Obama, in a sense, wasn't taking any sort of risk here? Because the only people who are likely to be really motivated to not vote for him were never going to vote for him anyway. This issue isn't going to make a difference there.
Well, I agree with Leslie on the following. 1 through 10, it's about the economy. I totally agree with her. However, there are certain voting blocks on either side of the extreme that this is a very big issue. And any conservative Republican who had their doubts about coming out and fully supporting Mitt Romney, honestly, the president did the Romney campaign a favor, shored up that side of the campaign. The other side of it is you really have to see how it impacts in particular states. This is electoral college race. It's basically 50 individual state races on one day. So places like North Carolina, places like Indiana, places like Virginia, I don't think overall this plays well. It's just a political